Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another session with the older man. Today, I have another guest with me. I have a local Emirati. Yes, a genuine, real.
We're kind of rare, but here we are.
My friends, this is Hassan. Please, brother, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, my name is Hassan, as he told you.
Look at this guy, man. Come on. 6'4", full of muscle.
Very good looking.
Good looking,
See
dude.
how humble I am?
Ladies, don't start sending me any DMs, okay? Bottom line is, my friend, he's a good brother. You're single.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's single, and I love the way he thinks. I just like the way that you sort of explain life. You're almost like an older man, but in Arabic. Yeah, in a younger body, but in Arabic. But you speak very good English. You were educated where?
Yeah, the interesting thing is I grew up in America, but that was a long time ago. I'm still surprised that I still have the accent.
Yeah, because
I know some people live longer,
right,
and they don't have this accent. From here, I mean.
You're like literally one of the first Emiratis I hear with such a deep, serious, almost like a Chicago type. Where did you go to school?
Mostly on the south. It was Florida and Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Both souths, but one is southeast and the other one is south-south.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. Well, listen, man, we're going to get into some subjects. We're going to do a variety of subjects. It's almost like the older man's random reviews, but the shorter version. Yeah?
All right.
So you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So, my friends, you're going to hear the Arabic feedback from some of my videos. All right? Let's do it. First one. Let's see. All right, let's do this one first.
All right, let's listen.
I don't date men that don't grow up with their fathers. Now, you grew up with your mom. You say you didn't have a father, right?
Yeah, he was around, but I mean, not too long.
Right.
And ever since I was 11, let's say 11 and above,
right,
never there.
Okay.
He was around, I would see him, but didn't grow up in the same house with him.
Okay.
Before that, he would come and go. Because
Right.
he used to travel a lot, not like he wasn't sleeping at home, but if he was in the country, he would be home.
Okay.
But he had a lot of stuff going on.
So he was still married to your mom?
Up to 11 years old, up to when I was 11, yeah.
Okay. So you would say you're more influenced by your mother more than your father. But you don't appear like a
not
mom.
Not really. It's a very interesting thing because you would think I would be influenced by my mother.
Right.
But I see a lot of traits that I get from my father, even though I never lived with him. I wouldn't say everything, but there's a lot. For example, kind of off topic, but
right,
he loves history and I love history too, but I never learned that from him.
I see. Gotcha.
You know what I mean? That's just one example.
I'm looking at masculine traits where you appear very masculine. You are also.
Which my father was very.
If he wasn't the influence, wouldn't you say that it was more your society that sort of had that deeper influence on you? Because in Arabic countries, we tend to. I mean, you tell me. Do you find that it's more of a?
I wouldn't really say my society or community or culture is more masculine from the stuff that I know. I always tell people I'm a very different type of individual, so I'll just stick to that.
Okay.
Because most of the people in my cultures don't see things the way I do.
Yeah, that is for sure. I mean, I've been here 16 years, and I find that your views about life and about the way relationships work, etc. We've had a few chats offline. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on, because you have a totally different view from your average Emirati.
Yeah, I would say I have a totally different view from your average human being.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, let's get into this first video. I don't date men that don't grow up with their fathers. In other words, you'd be out.
Yeah, exactly. If you go by that.
Exactly.
And I get what you're saying. I totally get it.
All right, let's hear what she has to say first.
Yeah. I don't date men that didn't grow up with their fathers. I just don't. It's always outliers. There's always exceptions to the rule. But the rule is a rule for a reason. And the rule dictates that if he did not see his father being a father, what are the chances that he's going to be a positive role model for his kids? What's the chances that he's going to be a husband if he's never seen what a husband looks like? I've done it before. I've dated guys that didn't have their dads, and it was not a positive experience. When I recognized that, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to date a guy that didn't grow up with his dad anymore. Positive. And that's the thing, too. I think so many women are so afraid of setting a standard because it's going to eliminate a lot of men.
Yep.
But it doesn't matter if it eliminates most men because you're not dating or marrying most men.
Right.
You're only dating or marrying one man. I think elimination is your best tool.
Oh, yeah.
Have high standards so that you eliminate most. So then you don't have to go through your entire 20s, your 30s, dating every single man.
It's an important standard, and I love that it's your preference. But man, that would cut out a lot of people. But I'm also nervous, like, would it cut out 95% of black men?
Yep.
And that's the thing.
Okay, so you want to start on this?
Well, no, I want to hear more from you. Every time I bring a guest on, they say, "Oh, older man, you always may talk too much, and your guests don't talk enough." So I want to hear from your head. I want to get inside your head more.
All right. So first of all, let's start with what you started at the end. Standards.
Right. Yeah.
Standards doesn't just eliminate most men. It also could eliminate the potential right person for you.
There we go. See.
Too many standards. I mean, you should have basic ones, but they shouldn't be too strict.
Exactly.
Because let's look at it like this. Let's say you've been eating oranges all your life.
Yeah.
Oranges are the best type of fruit because that's what you grew up in. Your dad, your mom bring you oranges. Best fruit.
Yeah.
Now, Paul comes to you and tells you, here, have some bananas. Nah, oranges are the best fruit.
Yeah.
How do you know? Did you try the banana? Did you try the mango? You set your standards according to what you know and what you're familiar with. But if you don't try something, you can't be the judge of what you never tried. So how do you know that that's not best for you? You never tried it before.
You see why I bring my brother on? That's the kind of logic, the critical thinking skills that all men need. That, my friend, makes perfect sense. A lot of these women think that they have a tremendous amount of choices out there because if she's going to start with, I'm not going to marry or give any guy that never had a father figure, she's going to eliminate those. So let's just say she eliminates 75% of men, right?
Yeah.
She now has to take away gay men, men that are too fat,
Men who are in jail.
men that are in jail, men that are broke, men that are
Disabled.
a tremendous amount more. And those men had fathers.
Yeah.
So now her pool has just dropped to literally less than 1%
Yeah, and you have
of men.
talk about the other type of men, the mama's boys who were raised by their fathers and their mothers.
Exactly.
So what else do you have left?
So kind of a stupid statement of on how she's actually picking a partner.
Yeah, and here's another thing.
Yeah.
I grew up with my mother.
Right.
Let's touch on that.
Yeah.
What I've learned from it is whatever suffering I went through without a parent, a father, is something that I would never let my kids go through.
Right. So in other words, you learn from the mistakes of your...
Yeah, because who's the best person to learn from that?
Yeah, exactly.
I know exactly what would be missing from a missing parent.
Yeah.
So I know exactly what's needed.
Yeah.
You know, and because see, if one parent is missing, the other parent is going to be lacking in certain other stuff. Because let's say on my situation, it's the mother. Now she's going to be lacking on being a full-time mother because she has to play the role of a father and a mother. So she's not even a full-time mother.
Right.
So she's trying to be a father, which she can never be, and she's half a mother.
Yeah.
You know, you see what I mean?
My brother switched on, man. Boss,
So,
you got it.
Because a woman can never teach a man to be a man.
Exactly.
Just like a man can never teach a woman to be a woman.
Even the message is understood across the world, my friends. This is a red pill message. You understand the red pill? Yeah. Okay. It's the same message. We're hearing the same message in every single culture. It's impossible for a woman to raise a boy to become a man. It's as simple as that. But this woman identifies that.
Yeah. I agree. That's why before you even played it, I told you, like, I get her point.
Yeah.
Because she had so many bad experiences. Oh, let me add this. Not everybody's built the same.
Yeah.
I'm sure me and my brother will treat a woman differently, and we both were raised by our mothers. But here's the difference. He had an older male role model to look up to, even though he may not accept it or admit it, which was me.
Right. Gotcha.
See, there's a difference also. So being raised by single parents also did you have sisters? Did you have brothers? Did you have uncle arounds?
Right. So your other influence. That's why I asked.
No, I had
if
none.
you had a community that
I had
that
no
was
male figure around me. Zero. I can tell you that.
That's insane.
My grandfather, my mom's, I would see him on the weekends. Sometimes he would come.
Right.
But, it was still on rare occasions that he would be in my life. I mostly grew up, what made me a man, I would say, is growing up with my friends, I was the middle guy. I had younger friends and older friends. So I had to be responsible on one side and be the younger one on the other.
Gotcha.
And I actually brought all these group of friends together because I was the middle guy. And I was the balance between, like basically the link between them. So that kind of taught me responsibility, masculinity,
right?
You know, in a very different type of way. Okay. And of course, as you grow, you learn more stuff.
Absolutely. All right, buddy. Let's go to the next video. This is another interesting one. I want to get your impression of how Western women think.
Yeah, I have an idea, but let's hear it.
Yeah.
I have an idea.
Number 1, I do not cook for my husband.
Oh, fuck.
I only cook for my children. My husband will be making his own breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
What?
Number 2, I do not help him pay any bills. So if he is short on the rent, on utilities, or anything like that, it is not my problem. I will not be helping him out. His job is to provide for his family, so I am not financially contributing to any of the bills.
Are you dumb?
I think she's dumb.
Number 3, I do not do his laundry.
Okay, so there's some similarities between this part of the world's culture and the Western, or at least her mentality.
Really?
Yeah.
You
like
mean
the man's role is to be the provider,
right?
And don't spend your money on helping him. That's a very Arabic cultural thing to do.
But the women do cook and clean.
No, that's what. No, I didn't say about cooking. I said about spending.
Okay, spending is different.
And providing.
Right.
You know, spending and providing. Now, cooking and cleaning, I would say, see, me personally, that's not a big deal for me. But for you to come out and say you're never going to cook for me, then we might have a problem there. I'm like, why are we even putting restrictions and rules on what we can and cannot do for each other? If you know what I mean?
I get what you mean. What is the role of the woman in the relationship yet? If the man is providing, what is the woman's role when she's in the home?
If she's a housewife.
Yeah.
Oh, if she's a housewife, then she's got to do all the stuff that she says she ain't doing. If she's the housewife.
Okay, cool.
I mean, what else are you there for?
But
just to make babies?
A lot of Emirati women also have maids too as well, right?
Yeah.
Helpers.
Yeah. And which is probably, would be my case, because for me, I'm more focused on growth and development as an individual, and I would say I wouldn't really be convinced with a housewife.
You wouldn't want a housewife?
No, I wouldn't want a housewife.
Same here. I tell the guys this on the channel all the time.
Because I believe women can give more than just being a housewife.
Right.
It's like me limiting them, like, I want you to stay at home and that's it. That's what you're good for. It's like, that's when negative type of misogynistic behavior from a man would affect a relationship and probably has a global impact on the world.
Right.
You know?
So you feel women should also contribute to the finances of the house?
I mean,
or do you feel that she should just be more useful? In other words, let's say if she was working from home, would that be a better?
I would look at it like this. I'm like, hey, you know what? Why are we even, like, there's some things that you just don't put rules to. Like, for me, I'm like, hey, if you got the money, you feel like something is missing at home, why you got to wait for me till I go to go get the groceries? You got the money, go get them. You know, soap is missing, shampoo is missing. I forgot I had a busy day. You know what I mean?
But
and you can afford it.
I know, but
What's
I
the
think
problem?
you're missing the big tenet of it. I'm talking about how she spends her time during the day. That's what I'm talking about.
She does with her time. I'm like, if you're just sitting at home and you notice that there's something missing at home and you're still not going because, I'm the woman and he's the man, he got to go get it. And then I come back after a long day, you're just sitting at home, and, you forgot the groceries? Nagging and all. I'm like, come on.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I know. But
and you just sitting at home doing nothing.
Right.
Hey, and let's say, you got to help her.
Yeah, no, I agree. No,
so
I prefer... Like my wife, she works, right? And she enjoys working. Oh, she's getting a little older now. She's getting tired. I find that women get tired faster.
Yeah, because women, I would say, naturally are not really built to be the provider and work that hard.
Yeah, exactly. But so
or at least in certain departments of work,
right?
Like they can thrive in other areas.
Yeah,
but they're not built. You know, like there's some jobs that will get a toll on them at some point.
Of course, but I find that. Just the mere idea of having the responsibility of getting to the office, commuting. There's just more to just doing the work at work. You know what I mean? There's the commuting. Like my wife complains, like, Jesus, I have to sit in traffic for 40 minutes sometimes, and usually when it's high season, you can sometimes sit in traffic just after a hard, frustrating day at work. It might not be physically stressful because she works in an office, but when she's now having to finish the day and then have to wait almost an hour in traffic to get back home, that takes its toll as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. So little things like that becomes tiring after a while.
And one thing I've learned growing up with women, or being raised by a woman and being around women, my aunts, my mother, grandmother, like I said, is when a woman does too much, she will let you know and always remind you and nag you and make you feel guilty for what she has decided to do or doing her responsibility. Like, let's say I was a son.
Right.
At some point, I was a student.
Yeah.
Couldn't provide. I would be constantly reminded
Right.
of what she has done for me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, you're my mother.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, who's going to do it?
I know
what I mean?
I know what you mean. I know what you
And
mean.
there'll be constant reminders
Yeah.
of, I've done this, I've done that, and
Yeah.
I've done this. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, hey, if I could help, I would.
Yeah.
And now they also expect you to do a job that a housewife should be doing. Or you got to wash the dishes, clean the house, and
This is the new
you basically got to play the role of, at some point, the housewife,
Yeah.
the father, the big brother, and the son.
Yeah, and this is where the problem comes in as far as I'm concerned with today's modern woman. For example, if she's tired, I'm not going to pull her away from relaxing for a bit. I will do that stuff. Now, I got 2 daughters, so I make sure I share the work with them as well. But I also want to demonstrate to my daughters that, hey, you know what? There's a man in the house that does all the hard stuff, but what push come to shove, hey, he could do the soft stuff as well. But I also make them know, I want you sometimes to feel the hard stuff. I want you outside raking. I want you outside cleaning my car.
Who?
My daughters.
Okay.
Yeah, I want them to feel that stuff as well. Because
So she can understand what the man have to go
Thank
through?
you. Exactly. Not because she don't need a man. I want her to understand the job. I think in today's environment, most women don't understand or can empathize with a lot of men's roles because they've never had to do it. You feeling me?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I don't know. I feel like there's some things that we don't need to understand about each other. We just need to accept them about each other.
I don't think that's good enough. I think when it comes to when they get into relationships, understanding it makes them empathize. Say, okay, I understand what my husband's going through because I remember when my dad used to let me do XYZ, and I now see my father.
But
my
they
husband.
could also come back and say, "Oh, you're a man. You shouldn't be complaining. I'm a woman. That's why
Yeah,
I don't. My experience of raking is different than yours because I'm a woman. I shouldn't be doing this anyway."
Yeah, of course.
Women can come back and tell you that.
They'll come back and complain about everything.
Yeah, my
but
dad used to make me do it, but I didn't see the point of it.
Yeah.
Some people. I'm just saying, some people would say that.
I get it, but in reality, I think experience and understanding another person is much better than not experiencing it and then feeling that that person isn't working as hard as you, because it's all about who does what in the relationship.
For me, I feel like, empathy is something that doesn't necessarily need to come through experience. I get what you're saying, and it could work.
And you're right.
With some people.
But it makes life a lot easier for the person who don't have the ability to empathize. At least they can basically, what's the word I'm looking for? When you already know how that person they can empathize a lot easier when they've experienced it. If somebody hasn't been through war and they can't empathize with me who's been through war. You get my point? That's an extreme example, but I'm trying to get it.
But it's the same thing as, for example, when you're feeling low and sad, or you lost a loved one,
right,
or broke, or lent somebody money, for example. Let's use that as an example. You lent somebody money.
And you don't get it
You
back.
didn't get paid.
Yeah.
All right? Then you get somebody else's money, and then you don't pay them.
Right.
So you've been through a situation of not paying somebody.
So you know.
And you know how it feels.
So
and you still don't care about paying somebody else. That's what I mean by
but then that's
experience doesn't necessarily bring empathy.
Yeah, but
because so many people do those things to each other.
Right.
They've been through it and they do it to others.
But that is more of a psychopathic mentality where you have no
then I
empathy
guess there's
at all.
a lot of cycles out
of
there.
course. We all have.
Let's talk about relationships.
Well,
relationships. Women lie, men lie.
Yeah, of course.
You don't like to be lied to. Why are you still lying?
Yeah, that's the reality.
You know what I mean?
But that's the reality of life.
And it's not about,
But lack of empathy is one of the hallmarks of a psychopath. He has no freaking remorse and he has no empathy for someone he's taken advantage of or killing. Men, they don't feel what we feel. They don't feel bad.
Yeah, but or it could be selfishness, especially when it comes on the examples that I gave. It could be just pure selfishness. It's all about me. I don't care about you.
Exactly. But that is another trait of psychopathy. I mean, we don't want to go too deep down that path.
Well, I was going to say, if that's the case, there's a lot of psychopaths out there. Because that's what most people are like.
We all have psychopathic tendencies. We all have a touch of it in us.
I wouldn't include myself into that. But, you know.
All right, let's go to the next one. Yeah. One thing you shouldn't do as a wife. All right, let's hear what this lady has to say.
A lot of women are suffering in their marriages because they're fighting for control with their husbands. What is sad is now their husband is starting to be resentful, ignore them. Their husband does not care about their heart anymore. Their husband is not trying to please them anymore, and they're wondering what's happening because they're saying to themselves, I'm making sure the family is good. What is your issue? And it's because that man who has been created to be a leader has been pushed down and silenced. And I'm telling you what they're telling me. They're saying, Tara, I got emotions too. I got ambitions too, but I have a wife or I have this person. They don't want to hear me. They don't care about my opinions. And if my opinions go against theirs, then I'm supposed to submit to them. Ladies, you have to understand what's happening in society because of the past where men have abused that submission and have not treated them as partners. We have went all the way to the other side where now we are fighting for our leadership and we are fighting to be heard, and we're fighting it to the point we're now treating them the same way.
3 men, one out of Kuwait, one out of Canada, and one out of New York. Same identical problem. Fighting their wives who have taken over their relationships and literally abusing the hell out of them. And these men have been beaten down in relationships. Is that the reason why you're not getting married? Or
all I need is half a red flag. That's all I need.
Brother said half of a red flag.
That's all I need. So we're not even going to get to that point.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You don't even want to see the full red flag. You see the tip of the flag, and
like,
that's it.
Oh, there it goes.
No, I'm out. Yep. I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah. And I tell you, I'm very happy being single.
Yeah.
I'm very happy being single. I got no stress, no headache. Don't have to deal with any kind of drama, where you been, what you doing. I'm like, hey, ladies, if somebody decides to be with you, he made a choice. He's not obligated to be with you. He doesn't have to be with you. So take it easy. Don't try to control his friends, what he's doing, where he's at, what time he comes home. He's still going to come home to you.
Yeah.
And here's another thing. If you're going to be with a man 24/7, you get sick with each other. You need that time away from each other to appreciate each other and miss each other. The more you're together, the more you're going to be all up in each other's faces, and every little thing he does and you do is going to be annoying and all that. So, it's a recipe for arguments and conflicts in a relationship if he's always there.
Yeah.
Let him be. Let him be out there. Give him his freedom.
Yeah, but
it's like kids. Kids are the same way.
I think it's bigger than just the freedom, though. There is a massive. This is my philosophy, and this is what a lot of men are seeing. The push by feminism to actually have women in control is what this argument is about. Women start off with, I want a man. I want a strong man who's a leader, who's
But when you get him, you want to break him down.
Exactly. There we go. That is it. You want to break him after you get him. I understand the theory behind why women do this naturally.
Me too. I get it.
The point is, and for those of you that don't know, women will always have to test their men to make sure that they maintain their point as leaders. But a lot of men get lazy and don't check women when they do this crap. So then they become the in the relationship. Over time, you give her a little bit more, give her a little bit more, give her a little bit more leverage, a little bit more, until eventually you have none. You have no leverage at all, and then she becomes the dominant force in the relationship.
And she becomes bored most of the time.
That is exactly what happens next. Because now she has a guy that goes, yes, dear, yes, dear. Yes, okay, yes, there, because
see, I'll tell this to the guys now. Guys, once you're predictable to a woman and you're always a yes man,
it's over.
Yeah. She's probably going to find some other guy interesting.
Yeah.
She may be stuck with you because she's got emotional attachment towards you, but she's probably going to be messing around or out in the market without you knowing about it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because you're predictable now. There's nothing more this man can give me.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page with this lady here. Gentlemen, you know the rules. You do not let your woman become in charge of you or the relationship. That nagging, you put a stop to it. Anytime, do not become a yes man in your relationship. Is the easiest and the simplest way I can tell you how to control your relationship. Once you keep giving your woman an inch, she's going to take a foot. After she's had a foot, she's going to look for a meter, 3 feet. After she's had a meter, she's going to be looking for half a mile. And after the mile, that is their nature. You got to learn to make her work for whatever you give her. Nothing should be given free to your woman.
We're not saying be this strict, masculine, dominant force all the time.
Thank you.
You know, but you just got to know when to step in and when not. And ladies, you know, for you guys, we all got to have that balance so we can reach a mutual understanding and have a respectful relationship. Because if the respect is gone, the appreciation is going to go away. A lot is going to fade away, and just be stuck with love, and that's when it becomes a toxic one. You know, that's when the relationship becomes toxic.
Brother knows exactly what's you switched on, bro. I have no other words. Shall we do one more?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's do one more.
The hard truth, fellas. Being handsome doesn't keep a woman. Being honest doesn't keep a woman. Being loyal doesn't keep a woman. Being there for a woman doesn't keep a woman. Treating a woman well doesn't keep a woman. Making an effort doesn't keep a woman. Caring about a woman doesn't keep a woman. Spending time with a woman doesn't keep a woman. You could have the best intentions, you could have the most sincere feelings, and you could be a good man and still wouldn't be able to keep a woman. Because the only way to keep a woman is if that woman wants to be kept by you. You can't force a woman to be with you. You can't beg a woman to stay with you. You can't make a woman to love you. A woman that wants to be kept when the relationship gets hard will do everything to fight for you. Because a woman only fights for a fella she wants to belong to. So if she isn't fighting for you when things get hard, she doesn't want to be kept by you.
Yeah, she's right. I would just rephrase one part at the end that she said, belong to you. I would say wants to be with you, because for me, this whole belonging, ownership stuff, you can't own a person.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know? And once you have that mentality in your head about ownership, that's when other problems come in.
Yeah.
Because now you feel like you have rights of controlling people's lives.
Listen, it's done by both sides, because you get, that's my man. That's
claiming ownership.
Exactly. That's my woman. That's my wife. That's my husband.
Yeah. The more you feed into that, the more you feel like you have rights in controlling that person, because you already claimed ownership and they have already accepted.
The only caveat that I see to that statement is that we almost need to feel in today's environment where it's so easy for us to just disappear from relationships. We almost need a little bit more glue to keep people together. So that sort of ownership, and I don't know how else to say it, that sort of you're mine, I'm yours kind of feeling still needs to be there in order to keep people closer together. I don't want to use any other expression to dissipate, to make it feel like we're no longer one. Because when you're married, you are one.
No.
Let me explain.
I wouldn't say you're one.
You see, this is a guy that's not married. Let me tell you how severe marriages are, right? How serious marriages are. If I got sick and I'm no longer able to speak or express myself, and I'm on a machine, my wife, because she's legally my wife, she has full freaking ability to pull that damn plug. I am hers. Do you understand?
That's a different situation,
it's the same
though.
shit. The point is, you don't.
It's not the same.
No, it is the same.
It's different.
Because this woman
that
has.
is different.
No, it isn't. This woman has full autonomy over my life. I am hers. You understand?
No, your life is under her hands at that moment.
I am her life. I am hers. No. In other words, in the bleakest point, in the darkest point of my life, I have no control over my body. She does.
No, but for me, okay, let's flip it around. For me, I don't have a wife. Yeah. Somebody is going to make a decision on my life.
Your closest next of kin.
Yeah, could be my mother, could be my siblings, could be my uncle, my aunt, my anybody. So I don't belong to them, but at that moment,
yes, you do.
I don't. No, I wouldn't say
she is your mother, possessive. That is my son, possessive.
Yeah, that's what, and
Do you
this is my
understand?
point. Now, let me explain to you my point. Why I say this claiming ownership creates a lot of problems.
All right.
Now, when you claim ownership, that's why kids end up going to school studying stuff they don't want to, and all the money was spent because parents feel this is my son. He's
Right.
going to study what I want him to do. Not what he wants, because I know what's best for him. I'm going to make the decisions for him.
Yeah,
He's telling you, I don't want to do that. You're forcing him to do that. I have
a problem. No,
Yeah,
I got
see-
to address that one
Yeah,
point because
okay.
at some point the kid becomes an adult. Only at that point, that's when he gets to make his decisions for
No,
himself.
but when he's about to choose what he wants to study,
No, when
he's
he's
on the
old-
gates to adulthood.
Right.
Let him decide what he wants to do.
Nah, I don't agree
see
with
what
that
I mean?
shit. No. I find that kids will take because I have 2 teenage daughters now. I can let them decide, and it would be the dumbest freaking decision because they have no idea of what the future holds for them. I've already lived their
But they
future.
know what they want to be.
I lived their future already. And I'm giving you real life examples right now.
I'm also giving you real life examples of what happened to me.
I get it.
So,
But you have to understand, I have a 15-year-old and I have a 17-year-old. I'm going to give you my life experience. I knew I was an artist when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I knew. I was so excited. I'll give you my example. I was in high school and I had just got introduced to art. I was so freaking excited, guys. I mean, I was like, oh my God. And I asked the teacher, how do you properly hold your paintbrush when you are... And this woman snapped at me. She said, we're not ready to talk about these things yet. Just sit down, Paul, and just behave yourself. And from that day, I decided not going to do this shit. Because that woman crushed me, right?
and parents do that
I
too.
remember, yeah, and that's my point. I'm trying to get across to you. In turn, I focus more my energy into business. But the bug of artistry, that's when I decided when I left Cayman and came over here, I didn't want to get back into business. I became a photographer. I wanted to create images. And I did that for 16 years. My business background made me survive. Why? Because if I didn't have the business background, I would never have been able to be successful as a photographer. In other words, my father was pushing me to become a business, to study business. Because he understood that in order for you to be successful in life, you better have some sort of business accolade. So what I'm trying to get across to you is the child in me wanted to do the fun stuff, the stuff that I found interesting. My father understood.
I know exactly
the
what you're saying.
importance.
I know exactly
so
what you're saying.
all I'm
But I
trying
still
to get
don't. I still don't see it that way.
Oh yeah, I don't feel that kids should make their own decisions until they have the ability to make adult decisions.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
And this is, I'm sure you listen to a little hip hop.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you heard of Mos Def. Yes.
Hip hop? No, I don't listen to music.
Okay,
I don't listen to music.
Okay, so
Classics, that's
there's a
about it.
rapper called Yasin Bey, aka known as Mos Def. He also acted in the movie Italian Job and 16 Blocks with Bruce Willis.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
His father, pretty good friend of mine.
Okay.
He used to be the older man to me. So we used to have a lot of conversations. One day he asked me, I can't remember what led to that question, but he asked me, let me ask you, do you know what education means? And I was like learning? That's the first thing that will come out of your mind, right?
Right.
He said, no, but do you know why it's called that? Now, that's a different question now.
Right.
He said, edu is an ancient Greek word that means bring out of. And then he told me where that word originated from.
Right.
He said, in ancient Greece, they used to sit in school. It wasn't school back then. It was something else. What do you think this is? Every child will have their own perspective.
Right.
All right?
Yeah.
Every child will have their own perspective. And then ask them, what can you do with it? And they build up that child and they are the ones that they ask questions to the students. And the students give the answers to the kids.
I get it.
You know? So the whole education system now is shut up and listen.
Yes, because
While
it's...
the source of education actually came is speak as much as you can so we can study you and know what you are and what you want to be as growing up.
And
so that can never happen if you are claiming ownership over a child, over a person, a wife, a man, a woman, because now you feel entitled to make decisions for the child, for the mother, for the husband, for whatever you could. As a leader of a country, you feel like you're entitled. And this is what we have in the world.
Yeah, I get it.
China has issues with their people. I don't know, North Korea, locking everybody up. I'm the leadership. I own. These are my people. I'm deciding. You know.
Boss,
so
I understand
in relationships,
that.
it's the same problem.
But the problem we have currently in this world is that we were educated to be workers.
Yeah.
And we literally the assembly line type of education, right? We get them in, we teach them the same thing, and then eventually this guy does this, this one does that, just like the assembly factory worker. All right, guys, listen, that was our collection of interesting videos that we had today. Let me know your thoughts on these particular videos. My friend, thank you so much for an interesting, enlightened way of looking at some of these issues that happens in the West. And we do realize that the same thought process occurs over here in the Middle East.
Yeah. At the end, we're all human. You know, we go through the same struggles in different situations.
Yeah.
I always tell people that the more we don't see eye to eye on, the more you learn from, because you learn nothing from agreements.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, so whatever we disagreed upon, that's where the learning comes in.
Absolutely.
Because now you're hearing a different perspective.
I don't want guests that just agree with me. That's boring.
Yeah.
That's boring.
And plus, the watchers, the viewers, you, me, had nothing to learn. I'm like, hey, we're in agreement. So why are we even talking about this?
We did agree on a few things.
A lot of things. We actually agreed on. The only disagreement was that Fabi at the end. You know?
All right, my friends, listen, subscribe. Give me a thumbs up on this particular video. Please let Hassan know whether he did well or not, if you agreed with him on certain things, what you didn't agree with. All right? Be hard. Be hard. No,
yeah, be hard. Don't matter.
No, I'm going to have you back. You're coming back again.
Oh, yeah, yeah, we definitely.
We're going to try to make this a reg. Yeah. We're going to try to make
I'll be your regular guest.
Yeah, man. Definitely, for sure. All right, my friends, listen. Give me a thumbs up. And remember, whenever in doubt, always ask an older man. See you in the next one.
And the wiser and much better looking man.
Cheers.